all come to pray, but we're back for warriors, keeping the whispers away. In suits and in skirts, we're the rebels you say, talking about life and dreaming of a different day. On the back row we stay, in the back we don't sway, just let the sermon flow. We're on the back row.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall, and excited about this. It is another Articles of News episode. I'm joined by Molly the Ash Ashton. We are going to talk about, spoiler, if you have not watched any of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, it's out now, season 4. We are going to talk about that, and we do not want to be careful about spoilers. So if you have not watched any of that, I have not watched all of it yet, but if you have not watched any of it, and getting those things in the, as a surprise format is a thing for you, stop listening. Press pause. Don't do this. Otherwise, we're going to ruin things for you. If you are someone who doesn't need to watch the show, but you think, oh, I bet if I listen to the Cultural Hall, they'll give me what I need to know. Yeah, that's probably it. We'll probably give you those highlights of things that you need to know. And so here we go. What is new going on with you? What's the haps, Molly?
Well, it's middle of spring break here for us, so we were just in Oregon for a few days. Just got back from Oregon. We were resetting our beach house. Our remodel was done mostly. So that was super fun. And then, of course, I was in New York last week to see Chicago with Whitney Levitt. So
now, I got to know. They announced that Mark, her Dancing with the Stars partner, is going to be in it with her. He was not in it with her when you saw it. No. We were hoping, we had kind of seen some sneaks that maybe is he going to be on, and no official announcement till a few days ago. So now I'll be back in New York in April, and my daughter's trying to convince me we need to go see it. Well, you need to.
And I told her, let's wait till the day of. We'll go to the TKTS booth. If there happens to be tickets available, maybe, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money to see it again.
No, because you've already seen it one time. How was it?
Yeah. So good. I've never seen Chicago before. Which is weird. Not my favorite show I've ever seen for sure, but she actually did phenomenal. I was so surprised. It was actually really, really good. And funny enough, we were sitting in the second row, so we were right up close. And her husband, Connor, was there at the beginning and saying hi to all the fans and taking selfies and whatever, And then after the show, anyway, so Whitney did really, really well. I mean, just as well as the other performers up there. So I was.
You would never know that she's not a.
No. So. Super impressed. What's so funny is that we waited outside the stage door for her. Actually, we waited in a secret place that I had heard she exits. And so we got to see her right away as she came out, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It was like there was a superstar coming out. The amount of people that were waiting, just wanting to wave and say hi. I was like, what is this? Because I've been to some stage doors with some very big actors before, and this was just as crazy. And she didn't sign anything, because a lot of times the big stars don't actually sign the playbills, so anyway, but she was gracious, and I don't know. I was very impressed. I thought she did a really, really good job.
Did you try and whisper at Connor and say, way to go at keeping your marriage together?
No. That would have been good, but no,
or
we didn't.
It may be lavender, but at least it's still together. Something like that.
I'm just not as witty as you are, Richie. I don't know.
Stop. That's great, though. You've never seen it before. You saw the show. Packed house, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Mormon joke in Chicago went over like crazy, I imagine.
Yes, it did, actually. So funny. In fact, I was like, is that always in there, or did they just add it for this? But I didn't realize.
It is.
Yeah. So that was fun. Super fun.
Yeah, so cool. I don't know that I have anything in particular to share personal, so we may just get into articles of news here in a minute. Except to say, so I have this very strange thing in the spring, and you're talking spring break, and so this kind of reminded me, you're cooped up all winter long, right? and it's like, oh man, hey, I don't want to be indoors anymore. And then you get like your first couple days of 60 degrees, and at least here in Utah, everyone is outside doing every form of like yard or
Yeah.
landscaping work, even if they don't do it throughout the year, right? Like even if
Yeah.
they have someone hired that does the lawn mowing for them normally or whatever the thing
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
everyone is outside, and you end up biting off way more than you can actually chew, and
Yeah.
wishing, you're like, yeah, this is the year that I'm going to put in the pavers and build a pergola, and also an underground tunnel from my home to my, my shed or whatever the thing is. And so I'm at the tail end of that, just exhausted.
Oh, I bet. Dang. Has it been
Lot of-
nice
lot
weather all week?
Yeah. And it's perfect for me because I'm kind of that Pacific Northwest,
Yeah.
like your Oregon, your Washington, never warmer than like 75. So these are the days I have to take advantage of. It
Yeah.
hits 78, 79, 80, and I just go, it's too hot.
You're
Can't do it.
done.
I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Too hot.
Do you want to
Too
know
hot.
what the temperature is down here for us today?
It's
95.
109. Oh, are you kidding?
95. Yep. Next week, it's going to get
Jeez.
up to 102. Yeah. So we're literally hitting records every day. It is hot down here, but not usually in the hundreds in March. So we're kind of dying. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. Well, it'll be record here in Salt Lake as well next week, they're saying, because we'll be
Really?
low 80s. Yeah. Low 80s, which
Wow.
we're not going to have drinking water. Say goodbye to the Great Salt Lake. Mormons need to pray a lot more if we're going to make our way to having water this year. It's
Oh my gosh.
bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Seriously. I know. Yeah. It's weird. It's been really weird. Someone just told my aunt that they read that Phoenix will be uninhabitable in 30 years because of
Yep.
global warming. And
Yep.
it's pretty much uninhabitable already, but
I was going to make that joke, but you went ahead and did it.
yeah. No one wants to be here right now,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's uninhabitable already. All right. Well, let's take a break, not take a break, and we'll do actual articles of news. The turning of another year makes me start to think about how I have not done one of these ads for Best DJ in Utah in over a year. I'm sorry, everyone, but it means business is good. It means you should hire Best DJ in Utah. Why, that's me, and I even have people that work for me, trained by me, affordable, and travel all over. Literally all over. Going to Florida this year, for instance. And this year means 2026, not this year, which could have been several years in the past, like we've been doing. You can go to bestdjinutah.com, or you can go and find us on our Google business page. It's Best DJ in Utah. You will see that as of the recording of this, almost 700 5-star reviews. Find out what so many listeners of the Cultural Hall have already found out. I'm great at parties. I'm great in your ear holes, but I'm also great at parties. So find out if I'm available for your date. We can help you out. Weddings, baptisms, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, funerals. I'll do a funeral. bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. Often, Molly, we are accused of gabbing like a couple of church girls, not getting to any news, but we have a good amount of time to be able to get through a ton of news. I want to do a couple stories before we get to our Secret Lives thing, but know that that's coming very, very, very quickly. The first one that I wanted to talk about is that there is a new commissioner of the church educational system. You'll remember that Elder Clark Gilbert, now one of the apostles, was the 20th commissioner of the church educational system, and now they have named Elder James R. Rasband as the 21st commissioner of the church educational system. He comes from BYU, a law degree from Harvard. He was an attorney in the Seattle area for a while, and then joined the BYU law faculty, and then had been serving as the dean of the J. Reuben Clark Law School, and then was the university's academic vice president. He's been a general authority 70 since 2019. But the question we all want to know is he related to Ronald Rasband, one of the apostles? And the answer is yes. Do you know the relation?
Yes, I do.
Because you looked it up because you wanted to know how they were connected. Yes.
Of course I did. I have to have knowledge. If I'm going to be on news, I need to know what I'm talking about, right? They are first cousins once removed. So,
and then
oh no.
I was going to say, and then did you ask Google what that means?
No, I did not. Well, it says they are not brother. Anyway, yeah. No, what does it mean?
So cousin once removed, because I always get this gets tricky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have your cousins, right? And if
Yes.
your cousin has a kid, that's your
Yes.
cousin once removed. It's got to be your
Okay.
first cousin who
Okay.
has a kid.
Who then had a kid. So first
Yep.
cousin. Okay. Got it.
So you can
I
think
mean,
of who that
that's,
would be for you. So
yeah.
I
Got it.
mean, from an optics point of view, I think don't we have all the Raz bands and Hinkley's and McConkeys and Monsons? Can we not tap another name? But he's perfectly qualified. I'm sure he'll do a great job.
Yeah. I mean, my husband's distant relative, Marvin J. Ashton, was a general authority, but they haven't called Andy yet. I don't know why, but
No, same last name. Come
yeah,
on.
come on. What's going on?
Maybe it's because of your affiliation with me. That could
Probably.
do it.
Most likely that's it.
Yeah, most likely.
Definitely.
And then so that was one that I wanted to make sure that we hit, and then I'm going to let you take the lead on all the Secret Live stuff and take us where you want to go. But the other one that I wanted to hit was the giving for 2025
Oh.
was announced. Our charity, the amount that we gave as a church last year, the church provided global relief in the 2025, the annual, quote, Caring for Those in Need report. And I thought there were a few things within this that were pretty interesting. One is that the church spent $1.58 billion dedicated to humanitarian aid and welfare. That there were 3,514 humanitarian projects that were conducted across 196 countries and territories, which you're asking yourself, well, how many countries and territories are there? Maybe 213, depending on how you define a country and or territory. It was a rabbit hole on AI that I didn't want to go down.
Yeah.
Volunteer time, 7.4 million hours were served by members in community and church-run facilities. There were 37 million pounds of food, equivalent to 31 million meals that were distributed to food banks and charities via 121 bishop storehouses. And the Just Serve volunteer platform surpassed 1 million registered users, adding over 114,000 new volunteers and 38,000 projects during the year of 2025.
That's
So
awesome.
pretty significant, some of the big picture stuff that happened. And there's so much more. You can read about the, let me make sure I get the name of the report correctly, the Caring for Those in Need report, but significant. And
Yeah.
where we're going to venture into the secret lives and people will be like, why wouldn't you even? I just wanted to lead with some very church-focused things.
Some very churchy. Yep. Love
Yep.
it. That's awesome.
All right, so Secret Lives. If you've not watched it, again, this is your warning. You're going to get spoiled like crazy. All the spoilers happening now.
Here we go. I'm 4 episodes in. I didn't get as much watched as I wanted to, but I have to tell you, my 15-year-old daughter is watching it. And when she told me she's watching it, and I said, I don't approve of you watching it because it's very smutty and bad language. Just so you know, I don't approve. And then she sits on the couch and watches it next to me. So just so we know, I don't approve it, but here we are.
I am not all right with this. Would you like some popcorn?
Exactly.
You need something to drink?
I'm like, cover your ears.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the season is the first couple of episodes. They are actually doing the reunion from season 3. So we see them getting ready for that and going and doing that reunion. Also some press things, some influencer events that like Whitney was invited to. What I find super interesting, just as an aside, as I'm watching this, they're doing some flashbacks to season 1 where you see like Whitney, who I've always just said in season 1, I didn't like her. She was weird. She looks so different now. And in fact, my daughter's like, did she have work done? I don't know that she did. I think she's just really revamped her image. She's like, she is a star now. And I think she realized she has to like look the part, act the part, etc. So really interesting that her glow up over the last like 4 seasons is really remarkable. I'm trying to, we've got the dad talk, the men of the Secret Lives. They were all invited to Vanderpump Rules Chateau or whatever it's called.
Vanderpump Villa.
A
Molly,
villa. Yeah.
It's an alliteration. Yeah. It's always
You're right.
Reality,
You're right.
reality TV is like Mormonism. It always has to be an alliteration. A
You're
linger longer,
exactly right.
the Vanderpump Villa.
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. So they invited several of the men to go out there. We have Macy's husband declined going. He decided, no, he did go because Macy's like, I want you to go so I can get the tea. I want you to tell us everything.
Yeah.
But like, I think Michaela's husband didn't go. Zach did go. Whitney's husband didn't go. Jesse's husband went. And then we have Mason and Chase, who are brothers, who went. And oh, and Dakota, of course, Dakota went. And there was not much tea that was being given. And Macy was super frustrated with her husband. Like, the whole reason I sent you there was to give me all the tea. Anyway, they come back and it comes to find out that Dakota has slept with someone while he was there at the villa. And so it was actually Jesse's husband who spilled the tea because Macy's husband was like, we kind of swore ourselves not to talk about this, right?
Bro code.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Taylor has to get on the phone with Dakota and she's breaking down, how could you do this to me? But meanwhile, she's already been chosen to be the bachelorette. She's already moved on, supposedly. I mean, in the reunion,
she brought in a guy from out of town that she met on TikTok. Yep.
And so it's just wild to me that this continues. I mean, she obviously has some deep-seated like feelings towards Dakota that she literally cannot get over him. Now, do I agree with him sleeping with some rando? No. I mean, no, whatever. But like, I don't understand why she feels like she has like this pull over him. Like she has control over him. I don't know. Let him live, right? Like, you're doing your thing. Let him do his thing. Other than that, we didn't really hear about any other drama. I'm sure something will come out. Now, Marciano was there, who we all remember had a little cheating type of scandal with Jesse and Demi, and Jesse's husband had a sit down talk with him. Apparently it went very well. So that was, one big theme. They had, Michaela, this is interesting, actually. One of the articles we're going to go over today is about Michaela and her husband, Jace.
Let's just get into it.
Yeah, I'll just get into it. My daughter made a comment last night. She's like, we don't see Michaela's husband. Jace doesn't really say anything on the episodes. Well, breaking news, Jace and Michaela have announced that they are separating. Yeah. They've been trying to navigate some intimacy issues that came out last season. In the midst of that, also, Michaela has some horrible eczema issues, and they are just kind of frustrated, the lack of progress in their therapy, et cetera, et cetera. So they are currently split up. And they said, though, they are seeing each other every day as they co-parent. And they really are saying this is not like a permanent thing. We've just split up to kind of figure things out on our own. But meanwhile, they just had a baby. I mean, they are, have a newborn, and it's probably 6 months old now. So that's interesting. I'm sure
one of the things that I find fascinating about that is the openness that Michaela has had about being sexually assaulted when she was younger. That we learn in either season 2 or season 3. And we realize that that's some of the trauma that's affecting the intimacy between the two of them, right?
Yep.
And there's all of her health issues. It was interesting as you learn, she's like, hey, I just want to focus on my health. Meanwhile, husband, Jace, that you don't hear from very often, is like, yeah, work on your health and please work on this very important part of our relationship.
Right.
That matters to me. And then, the bigger picture in all of this, because I know people listening, if people are still listening at this point, like what is... Like, well, but you know what I'm saying. Like a general populace of the church is like, what does this have to do? I try and extrapolate like the things, and sure, it would be nice if, like, if you're having problems with your spouse, to be able to just focus on one little part and not, and completely detach from the rest of it. But that's not being a partner or. Hey, I'm going to work really hard at my health for 2 months and then I'm going to get back into this traumatic thing. Yeah. Like those are the things, as I try and make this a little bit broader appeal with the specificity of their particular relationship, I just go, geez, all of the different women, and we'll get into it, but with their relationships blowing up, it's because, my opinion, I suppose, that it's, people are treating them like stars,
Hmm.
that maybe they don't have a mental place to be able to place that,
Yeah.
and these lives that their husbands have expected them to be in, not from any sort of oppression, I don't think, but just like this is
Hmm.
how life was until this
Right.
blew up. And now they're like, I don't want to do this, or I don't want this life, or
Yeah.
there are other things that I would rather do. And it's a thing that makes me sort of furious. The dad talk thing's just stupid. I just think it's
Dumb.
the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
But like, I have this certain amount of thing for the dads, the husbands, where it's like, hey, yeah, so like we're a team, and also are you being a team with me, or you know, am I propping you up? Are we supporting you, and I just have to you know, be your assistant, be
Right.
your babysitter, be your,
Yeah.
makeup coordinator, be your whatever the thing is. And that is why you are seeing all of the, that's not exactly why, but that's a large portion why I feel like you're seeing all the relationships that haven't already blown up blow up.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're exactly right. And to your point, well, about the relationships, Zach and Jen really, really struggled their last two seasons. They seem to be on really solid ground right now. And I actually, I'm starting to like people a little better. I like Zach a little bit better this season. He seems to be all in, like, supporting his wife in fulfilling and living her dreams. And, I think that could be really hard for some and really, a little easier for others. And I think they appear to have navigated that very well. The fact that she's probably making a good amount of money is super helpful. But she even made a comment, Jen made a comment in one of the episodes. She's like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I'd be supporting Zach through law school or med school, whichever it was, med school. Yeah. And she's like, but here I am basically as the breadwinner, and he's supporting me. And I'm so grateful for what he's doing and that he's allowing me to do this, which I think is great. And they've come a long way, obviously. And, something else I wanted to mention about Jen, she and Whitney, they've moved down to California because they're in the midst of doing Dancing with the Stars in this season. And I've really enjoyed their conversation so far together. I've seen previews that maybe things blow up, but so far, of course, but so far so good. 1 through 4, they're doing really well. But Jen was like, hey, are you guys going to be going to church down here? And Connor and Whitney were like, well, we didn't go last week because we're moving in, and we went to the grocery store last Sunday, and kind of teasing about it. And Jen's like, I feel like I want to go to church. Like, I feel like I'm missing that 1 day a week reset and the recharge. And I kind of loved seeing that. And actually, in one of the articles you shared with me, it talks a lot about how she was saying, like, here I am, this is like a different place than I thought I'd be as a Mormon mom. And this is where I am now. And I think that sometimes things get forgotten in our culture, and I can be this, and I can be, the breadwinner and doing all of these things. But at the end of the day, like, I still believe there's a higher purpose, and I still want to have that surrounding me and my family and my children. And, and she talks about how her culture taught her that having, that higher power and God is like something she really wants. And so I think maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that this season, and her trying to navigate, like, do I want to go to the LDS church? I think there's still a part of her that really does. And I'll be interested to see how she does with that and how she navigates that.
Yeah, the couple of episodes that I've watched, not much about Mormonism at all.
Right.
Brief sort of mentions of, like, oh yeah, Mormon, like just a quick aside, but not anything of substance, anything of even conversation, really.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me quite a bit, and you see it, I think, correct me if I'm incorrect, but like, as we see season 4, Jessie has had her plastic surgery. And my wife, who I watched this series with, was like, what happened? What has gone on here?
Well, I actually don't think in season 4 she's had the plastic surgery yet.
She looks different, though, than she did in season 3 at the beginning of season 4.
No, she does. And I don't know if that's just maybe it's just some Botox or something, but her actual plastic surgery, There was actually an article all about this, how she said it's actually made her incredibly unhappy and it's ruined her life. She said, I know that sounds dramatic, but my whole life is my image. I'm on camera, I'm on a TV show, I'm having to do press interviews, and now I'm getting ripped apart by everyone. She said, her surgeries cost over $25,000. And she said, I know my face looks terrible. I totally agree. And so I pulled up some photos of her today, to show prior to it. And she looks way different. Why would you do that to yourself? She said, she said, I'm warning fans that I look bleeping hideous all of season 5. So when you watch season 5, it's going to be even worse. I look hideous. My face is swollen. My eyes look crazy. I don't look like how I used to. So kind of interesting and really sad, that she felt the need. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful human being. And I know she had some fat injected into her lips, and she says her lips are all lumpy now. She had things done to her upper and lower eyes, which she was only going to do something to the lower, and they convinced her to do the upper. And I looked at the picture of her today, and it really just looks like, she just has these eyes that are I don't know, weird clown eyes or something. Anyway, but I do agree. She looks different now in season 4, even than season 3. And I just think that's probably Botox and fillers or something, but I don't really know.
Well, and so again, trying to look at the lesson of this, one of the comments that my wife made, and she doesn't follow any of this on social media, or she also doesn't do a show available in podcast form where she follows these people. So she's unaware of some of this, but she's like, Taylor's getting her boobs redone before The Bachelorette.
Yes.
And she's like, how old is she? Okay, maybe she's had kids, so she's doing it again. But we know, Layla has had plastic surgery. We know Miranda has had plastic surgery. And these women, Jessie is the oldest, and she's 33, 32.
Yep.
This is, and I want to be careful because I don't want to shame anyone, but to me, this is part of where I feel like it is the beautiful disaster of why we watch this, because if they were secure, healthy, happy, functioning kind of individuals, we wouldn't be tuned in to watch. But you just go, wait, what are you doing? Why do you look like this? You had this done?
Right.
So please be a lesson to those that might go, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about this.
Yep.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I actually want to say something else about Taylor. So Taylor, we know, is going to be the new Bachelorette coming up in 2 weeks. In fact, it is when it will launch. But they were doing some practicing dating with her because she's like, I've been so out of practice with dating. And I have my own opinions about her being the Bachelorette. I kind of think she's a hot mess. Anyway. And I was texting with a friend last night. We were like, why was she chosen? Other than it, I'm going to watch. I haven't watched The Bachelor, Bachelorette in 10 years, and I'm going to watch it. This is why she's been cast. I get it. So anyway, but they were doing a speed dating thing where she was meeting guys or whatever. And I see a guy in there. I'm like, I recognize that guy. And he's talking, and they keep going back and forth to him. He is the ex-husband of an influencer, a Mormon influencer in Salt Lake, and he himself is a male influencer now. His name is Bubba Page. His wife was Jordan Page. They have 8 children, and they divorced about a year and a half ago. And he's doing this speed dating thing. And I'm like, was this a PR thing? They're like, hey, we want to get, do you want to get paid to come and do this? Because there's literally no way he would date Taylor Frankie Paul. He's very, very devout Mormon. You know what I mean? So that was weird. And I'm texting my girlfriends. I'm like, look who's on this, Mormon Housewives. Anyway.
Yeah, so much of that. That's where I feel like this producers step in and go, how can we make this a bigger deal? How can we blow this up? As we kind of go around the whole thing. To me, in the season, but all of the commentary stuff that you get from the couch afterwards, she has declined to do it. And by far, the most cringy thing that I have seen in all of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is Demi and Brett at the recording studio singing. It's so bad. It's so bad. So bad.
It's so bad. I didn't know it was going to be happening, and my daughter said that was one thing she's looking forward to most, is seeing Demi try to launch her singing career. I'm like, what? And then it comes on, and I'm like, oh, make it stop. Please make it stop. And then Demi keeps saying to Brett, okay, you need to do this different. Oh, stop. I mean, she's just constantly on him about how he sounds. I'm like, well, girl, maybe you need to listen to yourself. Like, this
Yeah.
is not good. Not
No,
good.
no. And to me, I wonder, like, overinflated sense of self. Jeez. Like, it's so funny to me because I watch this and I go, I'm not like that, am I? That's how I watch the show. Is I go, do I do any of that? I'm not
Right.
like that, am I?
Yeah.
Do I show up in that way at all? Jeez, I hope not. I'm
Yeah.
not like that.
Yep. Yep. But I know, and it's so weird. Okay, I'm still trying to understand how every time Demi won't be interviewed, is it like she's getting a little bit of money if she's just shown in the
Yeah.
videos, but like she doesn't want to answer any questions, but maybe if she did, she'd make, five times more money. I don't know. It's just weird. Every time
I
they're like,
mean,
let's see what Demi has to say about this, and they show the empty couch. Demi has, declined to be interviewed. I'm like, this is so weird.
yeah, she's not a producer of the show in season 4 like all of the rest
Right.
of the girls are. And
Right.
so I think she probably filmed the season and maybe we'll find out exactly why she has
Yeah.
nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, of course, she's not going to do it, but they kind of constantly remind you about that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of criticism about Macy's book. You and I have both read it
Yes.
or listened to it, that it was poorly written. I guess I would agree that it was like, I mean, it wasn't you know, it's not something that, that what?
Would
You
win
know,
an award.
yeah,
Like,
it's not award winning.
yeah.
It's not a fantastic work of literature,
Yeah.
but it was her talking about her experiences, and she says it's supposed to be like a journal thing, and I went,
Yeah.
okay, it's people just
Which,
trying to,
yeah, I mean,
you know,
that's what it sounds like. I mean, to me, when I listen to it, it sounds exactly like she's reading her journal or diary, which is what I would expect from a memoir from someone who isn't an author, who is just sharing her life experience. I wouldn't expect anything more. And so it's unfortunate. I feel bad for her that people are kind of clouding this, really great thing she's done. And so that's unfortunate, but people will be people. And
yeah. Other part of that is that you know her and her husband, I kind of liked them. I thought they were, I think she's the only temple recommend holding of
yeah,
the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and she's just kind of being, at least in the couple episodes that I've watched so far, I
yeah,
just not, yeah, just not
yeah,
kind, just not, like, I don't want to claim, hey, at least one of them is. I just want to be
right.
like, not any,
None of them. Yeah.
no thanks.
I have the exact same thoughts. Exactly. I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. Like the one holdout, and I see more of like Whitney and Jen kind of holding that torch now, just being a little more solid and grounded, and Macy a little bit more petty. And I'm not enjoying her. And again, my daughter made the same comment. She's like, I really used to like Macy and her husband and not so much anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting to learn that Miranda and Chase not actually divorced.
Yeah. Yep.
Not officially divorced. So
Yeah.
here's Chase showing up on the show with dad talk and apparently going on a date with Taylor
Mm-hmm.
in the first or second episode of the season, and not divorced yet from Miranda.
No. Now, the divorce just got finalized, correct? I think in the last month or two.
Yeah, just now. Yes.
Just
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
After filming of season 4. And, I thought it was really interesting. Or wait, not, wait, hold on. Miranda. I was thinking of Layla's divorce that was just finalized. Hold on. Is it Layla that we're talking about? No, you're talking about Miranda.
Layla's divorce, she filed in January of 2024.
Yes.
And then it went back to court in 2025. Had to do a new petition, and then finally found its way through. So that's probably right between season 3 and season 4. So maybe Chase and Miranda still are not divorced.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. I'm not sure, but actually found it interesting. Layla, who I thought you were talking about, in her divorce papers that they just released, it said that the parent shall be restrained from using illegal drugs or alcohol or a not to exceed dosage of prescription medication around or near the children. And I thought that was actually very interesting, that they put alcohol in there as well. Anyway, just thought that was interesting that those things have come out, and that was an interesting detail in there.
They also both had mutual restraining orders, stopping both parties from making derogatory comments about each other in front of their children. It just seems, and you sort of get that attitude from Layla, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
out as much, and as that has started to come out a little bit, it's just like this. I don't know. I guess you could make any show of people if they just are this much
Yeah.
this much of things and put them in a group, and you're like, yeah, we'll call it the very public lives of Mormon wives. Here,
Yep.
watch this train wreck happen.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
crazy, crazy.
Yep.
Any
Exactly.
other things? I guess with Layla, and as you watch the show, I have a certain amount of concern for her health. Very clear that she
Hmm.
has an eating disorder.
Yes. Well, and I saw in one of the previews, someone took something out of the fridge and was saying, "You said you were going to stop." And she's like, "I just can't stop." And it made me wonder, is it like one of the weight loss drugs that she's
Gotta
doing
be.
in addition? I mean, like it's a little vial. So,
Yeah.
but I tried Googling it and I can't find any like information. So we'll have to, and I think there's 10 episodes this season, right? Is that what I
Mhm.
saw on
Yep.
Hulu?
Yep.
So I'm traveling tomorrow, so I will most likely get all of them done, and we'll have more to report next week.
Well, good, 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 good.
Yeah,
Thank you for
you're
taking
welcome.
that.
I'm glad
Um,
to do that for all of our listeners who don't care.
Is there any other thing with it that we feel like we need to bring
I
up?
don't.
Any other secret lives? Anything?
I do
No?
not think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some other news, and because we didn't
Yes.
chat very much about travel logs and our personal life, we've got time to do it. So I'll take
Okay.
one, and then you can pick whichever story of the other ones that I don't do, and we
Perfect.
can just go news until the time runs out. A
Love
first
it.
edition copy of the Book of Mormon recently sold for $250,000 at an auction in Connecticut, setting a new world record. Reed Moon, a rare book collector and owner of Moon's Rare Books in Utah, noted that he was the second underbidder on the book and expects this record to be broken again soon due to a highly competitive market. The copy was in good condition, rated around a 6 out of 10. Moon stated that a copy in better condition could have surpassed $300,000. Out of the 5,000 original copies that were printed in the original printing, Moon estimates that there are somewhere between 750 and 800 that still exist, and that likely we could be hitting the $1 million mark within the next decade.
Wow.
Um, it originally sold, if you got in early on the Book of Mormon, you could get a Book of Mormon for $1.25. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what your what that percentage is. But just for interesting sort of note, an original Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice
Okay.
recently went at auction for $150,000, and an original J.R.R. Tolkien The Lord of the Rings went for $100,000. So significant amount of money going for this
Yeah.
first edition Book of Mormon.
That's amazing. Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool. I love that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
What do you want to talk about?
I'd like to talk about the article Questions Cloud Mormon Church Handling of Suburban Congregations Ex-Leader Accused of Abusing
Ooh.
Minors. So
Oh,
heavy one.
you just want to go nice and light, huh?
Yeah, yep. That's what we're at this week. Yep. Nice and
Okay.
light. This was actually really interesting reading about this. So it's referring to Wade Christofferson, who we all know was arrested in November. He's the brother of President Christofferson. And it was interesting. There were a few things I found really interesting as I was reading. It said he was excommunicated by the church for the initial behavior that happened years ago. So,
Mhm.
we know he apparently committed some crimes against children, a child, 15, 20 times, whatever. At the time, he was excommunicated, but later was allowed to be rebaptized. What's interesting about this was in the mid-1990s. The church leaders excommunicated him over the misconduct. They apparently never went to police or told their congregation, and Christofferson was allowed to continue being a part of the congregation, though with a downgraded status. No authorities were brought in. Nothing was ever mentioned to the membership. In fact, there was rumors that the reason he was excommunicated was for an extramarital affair.
Hmm.
So I found this information to be really interesting and makes me wonder how this type of thing is handled today. Because if someone is being excommunicated for molesting a child, this should never be downgraded as an extramarital affair. I mean, it needs to be very clear that this is what was happening.
Sure. So
So,
let me ask you. So let me ask you a question about that.
yeah.
I'm not saying I am just. Everyone, calm down with how I'm about to engage in this because I'm just I'm just sort of asking questions around it. So,
Yeah.
say that it was someone that you knew and cared about, right?
Okay.
We could. I don't want to say your spouse, but I guess for the sake of this, let's say it's your
Hmm.
spouse
Yeah.
gets accused of this, is guilty. Um, the way that it used to be way back in the day is that when people were excommunicated, what they were excommunicated for would be read in, like, when we move new people into the ward, it would be
Yes.
like that. Hey, Richie Stedman was excommunicated for starting his own church, or whatever the thing would be.
Wait, you're
Uh,
actually kidding. This actually happened?
oh no,
It
that's
was,
how. Yeah, that's how that used to be in the church
oh, I
in the
didn't know
early days.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, I think I agree that, well, several things. One, they should have informed the authorities, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Said, hey, this is what happened, and he should have gone to jail because perhaps other incidences could have been prevented.
Yep.
And I also, I just wonder, like, do we get to the point where we say, hey, for the following things, we mentioned these in church, like for sexual abuse or domestic abuse or whatever, we say, hi everyone, we want you to know Wade Christofferson, he is an excommunicated member. And the fact that he was still able to attend church, I
Hmm.
attended church for almost a decade as an excommunicated member, couldn't
Right.
pray,
Right.
couldn't hold calling.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical. But do we do that? And I think that it sucks to be the Christofferson family
Hmm.
or to be him, but
Yeah.
I think too bad. Your choice
Yeah.
is made, so life sucks for you, and
Yeah.
people need to know that this occurred. I think it
Right.
does need to be, not every time, not like
Right.
welcome to church, everybody. It's the
Yeah.
Riverview Ward. We're gonna do the sacrament, and then after which we're gonna remind you guys that Wade Christofferson is a kid sexual abuser. Like, not
Yeah.
that
No.
way,
Yeah.
but often enough that no one should be unawares, or at very least speculating that it's something else that it isn't, because
Yeah.
I would act
Yeah.
differently, I would engage differently
Right.
with people
Right.
if I know they did this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. I totally agree with you. What's interesting in this article, they reported that D. Todd Christofferson knew in about 2018 of at least one abuse allegation. But the church came out, a spokesperson came out and said the church strongly condemns and does not tolerate abuse and honors the courage and respects the rights of survivors. Regarding the history of Wade Christofferson, President D. Todd Christofferson was never in a position to know about, and in fact did not know about or influence the ecclesiastical decisions regarding his brother's membership. It was not until around 2020 that President Christofferson first learned of, through family disclosure, some of his brother's history of abuse from 30 years prior. He respected the adult victim's wishes not to involve law enforcement at the time. So it sounds like he went to the victim and the victim said, I don't want you to do anything about this. However, upon learning of recent allegations involving a minor, President Christofferson immediately reported it to legal authorities.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that part of it. I didn't know. So it seems, based on that it was President Christofferson reporting these activities that got him arrested, perhaps in November. And I found that to be really honorable that he did that. And it sounds like he did everything right once he knew. However, if he did know in 2020 and didn't want anyone involved, did he reach out to his brother at that point? Was there something, hopefully, that was happening? I don't know, but I do wonder. The adult victim didn't want law enforcement involved, but usually when someone commits a crime like that, it
doesn't matter what
there's,
the person wants,
yeah,
or it
yeah,
persists. Yeah.
yeah. So I find that a little bit strange that he didn't go, it kind of doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I have to. That's interesting to me that he still waited, and reported it now. But anyway, really interesting.
What I hope, and I don't think will, but man, would it be something that I would watch over and over? President Christofferson at General Conference in 3 weeks say,
Mm-hmm.
Brothers and sisters, I have the hardest thing in the world that I have to tell you about, a thing that I have wrestled with in the love of, someone so close to me,
Yeah.
and the poor choices that they made, and the wrestle before God as to doing what's right and recognizing. I would eat that talk up at General Conference for
Yeah.
breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner.
Yep.
Because how many other people have been in that situation as a victim or as a relative of the perpetrator, or
Yeah.
in the ward of that, like the authenticity of someone like President Christopherson just going, man, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just jump in on it. I don't
Yep.
think he can this general conference because I think the legal portion of the whole thing is still going on. But I
Sure.
hope at some point we do get to hear
Yep.
all of the like the things, because I think that like if you believe that everyone's called for a reason, I think that
Hmm.
it's a real crappy reason.
Yeah.
But I think that could be part of the reason why D. Todd was called to be an apostle, to be able to share that experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, between that and his other brother having, being homosexual, I mean, he's got a lot he can offer and a lot of wisdom and experience that he can really help the members of the church.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. Now, I have to point out one other thing that stood out to me in this article was a quote from John DeLynn, the host of Mormon Stories podcast, so there was a gentleman named Nashel is his last name, that they interviewed for this. And he was, I believe, part of the committee that excommunicated him years ago or whatever. Anyway, and he interviewed him on Mormon Stories, and he said, isn't it interesting that they excommunicate the critics that are trying to protect the vulnerable and the marginalized, and yet they allow those who are committing these crimes and performing these acts to return and flourish. And he's like, it's just suffocatingly painful, the disparity of it. And I'm not a fan of John DeLynne's personally, but I think he makes a good point right there. It's like a lot of people who've been trying to really stand up for the marginalized and the people who've suffered at the hands of, priesthood leaders and whatnot, they get excommunicated. And anyway, it was an interesting dichotomy there that he shared. So anyway.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say, like, but or and to that is I don't think that John DeLynne has tried to be
No.
readmitted,
No.
right? So, I mean, they excommunicate him for being a critic, and also, like, if he was continuing to go to church and,
Yeah.
wanting to be back in, he very likely would have been
Totally.
readmitted.
Yeah, totally. So it is a little bit of being a martyr on that, but yeah.
I've never heard of such a thing from John DeLynne.
I know. Never.
Yeah.
So,
So here we go. Let's go. This is pretty current, actually. Let me find it. This story I actually pulled up today. This is going the rounds, and I just think there's something to be sort of learned from it as well. There is a video that's been circulating a bunch on TikTok from a woman by the name of Cami Skamolsky. She says, I married my mission companion. I was her trainer.
yes.
And there is a 10-part series of videos between this sister missionary and her now wife, and about how, being on a mission and falling in love and, learning how to serve one another. And then, every part of this is documented, because this is the day and the age of which we live in, where she has video of all of this, right? Of her and her companion, pictures of when they first met, and all of that. And I just think, I know that there are people that are like, well, she sealed her fate. She made her choice. She's gone against that. But I think that there is something, it is worth taking the time to watch the 10-part series, for the way that it runs, maybe not parallel to the LDS Church, but sort of interweaves so much of it through the church. I think that people will gain something by watching that series. So
Yeah, I agree. I ran across that probably last Saturday that I saw, I think the first 2 or 3 parts had been released, and it's like, and I was like so ready for the next parts. I was like, okay, when's 6 coming and 5? I was so curious, and I really appreciated the way she shares her story and the story of them falling in love. And I actually started thinking about how, they were companions and they just grew to love each other so much. And first platonically, and then it grew to so much more. And it actually really got me wondering if that has happened more times than we would know. I don't know. They're dealing with a lot of really hard stuff on the mission, and she was dealing with an eating disorder at the time. And when she and her companion were separated, and then their mission separated, and she was really struggling and ended up going home early. And I really found it fascinating, and I'm glad they're really happy. They seem really happy where they are now. So.
Yeah, I think within like individuals that are queer that serve missions, I think it's far more common that like someone will fall in love, or as the kids say, catch feelings for their companion. But to have it something to now they're married and the foundation of how they got to know each other was their mission, I think is far less common. But
definitely less common for sure.
Yeah.
But
I also thought this story was interesting, and so I'm going to cram it in. Then I'll let you take a couple since I'm being so selfish. I might as well be on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm being so.
Here you are learning from them.
Well, my wife and I are breaking up, everyone. That's what. No, I'm teasing. We're not. We're great. I hope we're great. Babe, are we great? Are we all right? The United States prepares to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is inviting us, that is all of us, as in membership, to fast and pray for religious liberty. Members are invited. This is a worldwide, or at least nationwide, fast that President Oaks, President Eyring, and President D. Todd Christofferson have invited us to do. It is the 5th of July, the day after Independence Day. We are encouraged to fast for and pray for religious liberty. I think that is really, really, really significant.
Definitely.
All church units in the United States are being encouraged to have a video during the 5th Sunday in May to discuss the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and how these documents support religious freedom and our God-given agency. And part of this is, for people outside of the United States that might be listening to this, part of this is we're throwing a big party for the USA because we celebrate our 250th birthday this year, so I think that's part of it. But the other part of it, I think, for President Oaks and certainly for President Christofferson, that religious liberty is so much of what their life, not religious life, but their life's work was about. And so I think that you're seeing that resonate. But I think it's fascinating to be like, hey, let's fast for religious liberty, you guys.
Yeah.
United States, let's go. Let's fast for it. That seems curious to me. I can't ever remember there was a time that it seems like President Nelson asked us to fast. Was it during COVID?
I believe so. Yeah.
They can find a cure or that everyone will be all right. But that, few and far between are the times where they say, let's all get together and fast, huh?
Like all together on the same day for the same purpose. Yeah, definitely. I, as you're saying, I think this is the only other time I can remember that being asked of us. So yeah, very significant. Speaking of that, a little bit, not, but did you hear about the Jewish temple that a car ran into it in Michigan, just like 30 minutes from where the LDS church was in Grand whatever. Yeah. Anyway, as you're talking about religious freedom, it just had me thinking about, like, this isn't just about us. We want religious freedom for everyone, and hopefully that's what we can have. But yeah, just kind of devastating that people are attacking other people's religion.
Well, and the church, at least the area authorities, they issued a statement about. Okay, here it is. It says, having experienced a similar attack in nearby Grand Blanc, church members express their love, support, and deep concern for all who are affected by today's act of violence at a synagogue in West Bloomfield. Wrote the area presidency elder Alan D. Haney and his counselors. Houses of worship should be sanctuaries of peace, prayer, and community. We pray for healing, comfort, and peace for all who are suffering. So cool that the church showed up that
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, what is going on in Michigan that everyone's like, run a car and shoot some, you
Right.
know,
Right. Who knows? It's awful.
yeesh,
Now, on a lighter note,
please.
there was a church building was permitted to be built in Midway, and this
Okay.
is interesting because in Heber City, which is right near Midway, is where they've been fighting against the temple for like years. It feels like now, and they approved this new church building that's being built in Midway. Not that that's a huge big deal. There's churches being built everywhere. However, what I think is really great is there was one sticking point for the city council involved in which is involved in the design of the church itself. Midway is known for its Swiss roots, featuring European style architecture across town. Council members have said that they would like to see that style continued in regard to the new structures, including the church, and community members agreed. And I'm so excited for this. The idea that it's going to be a European Swiss architecture church, like I'm very excited to see this when it's done, because it's not going to look like the cookie cutter churches that we see everywhere. And I love that they're doing that and sticking with the architecture and the roots of that area.
Have you ever been up to people that live in Utah often will go to Midway for Swiss days?
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
huge multi-day, spend a lot of money, crafts and food
Yeah.
kind of thing. So yeah. But what bothers me about it, because I can't just be happy about something,
Of course
is
not.
if they can build it in that place, like a Swiss, like a Swiss or a Swiss chapel. Why
Yeah.
can't we build a 2-story one in Taylorsville and an old Art Deco one in Phoenix, and like let us have
Yeah.
some differences in some of these places. And certainly, if we have those, let's spend a little bit of our billions and restore the ones that we've got if we're not going to build any more like it.
I agree. That's so true. I think you make some very valid points. And yeah, I think let's make them a little bit more interesting. And
They won't.
I mean, yeah, I know.
They will not do that. Robert Edwards, indicted by a grand jury and arrested in Utah 2 days later. Robert Edwards,
Oh, yes.
creator
I
of the
know.
Squatty Potty.
Yes. Yeah.
You ever used a Squatty Potty?
Yes. I bought my husband one.
Yeah.
I think we got rid of it eventually, but it was, I don't know why, but
The default of the Squatty Potty is that for gentlemen, it ends up urine soaked.
Right.
Just because
Maybe
of where it is,
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Maybe too much.
It's true.
But
So
it
true.
essentially, Squatty Potty, for people who don't know, you kind of put it to the front of the bowl, and if you put your feet on top of it, it would angle all your innards so that you could poop better.
Yes. It
Um,
worked very well. But then I realized other things could work just as well, like bring a laundry basket in and you don't need to have it in your bathroom all the time.
Sure.
You know.
Anyway, he was arrested for allegedly purchasing and receiving a collection of images of child sexual abuse material. This dating back to 2021. He's pleaded not guilty to receipt of child pornography. He co-founded Squatty Potty with his mom, a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Edwards left the church as a teen, and now he has come out as gay. He pitched a footstool on the reality show Shark Tank, and then Lori Greiner invested in the company, and the family has since become millionaires. They've been back in court, but I have yet to hear anything out of that. So I just wanted to say Squatty Potty.
I know, yeah. When I saw this article, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, you got to talk about this on Articles of News. But I wasn't sure if he was LDS. I mean, I'm thinking Utah, he probably is. So I'm Googling it, and I never saw for sure if he was. So then when I saw you show me this, I was like, okay, he is. But also, he was living in Ivins, Utah, which is right where Jody Hildebrand also was living. So we've got
probably one of those big houses.
Yes, in my in-laws neighborhood. He's
Yes.
probably one of those. I've got to find it.
I don't want to throw any sort of shade at your in-laws, but are they law-abiding citizens? Because the neighborhood would tell me maybe they're not.
I know. I need to find out. I don't know. I thought so, but who knows?
Yeah, everyone's surprised.
Yeah.
The 12 new hymns. Let's end here. Do you know this Book of Mormon song that has now been added to the hymnal?
No, and I didn't have time, but I wanted to listen to it. I haven't even listened to it, so I've never.
You have probably heard it as part of a primary program. You and I growing up, we really loved the socially inappropriate cultural appropriation of Book of
Yes,
Mormon
yeah, Mormon
stories that
stories, and
my
then all
teacher
the
told to. Yeah, and then
yeah,
all the very insensitive things that we would
yeah,
do beyond that.
yeah.
Well, this, for all intents and purposes, has sort of taken the place of that. The chorus
Okay.
goes, every day, every day, every day. And it's very catchy. And once you listen
Mhm.
to it one time, it's basically encouraging you to read the Book of Mormon every day,
Every day.
every day, every day. And now we can sing it as part of our worship service. So,
Can you imagine that song being sung in sacrament meeting? I
yes.
mean,
I mean,
okay, here we
we
go.
hesitantly snapped through, I'm going to live so God can use me. I'm going to
Yep.
live. Oh, geez. So, yeah, we
Well,
can have it every day.
I am the ward music coordinator now, so maybe I'll make it one of our intermediate hymns
Do
coming
it.
up soon. I should.
It's
I
not
will.
appropriate for sacrament, but it would
Yeah.
be a great one for, like, right before the High Councilman speaks.
Yes, that's what I'm
So
thinking.
everyone
Yeah,
can stand up
intermediate.
and you can, every day, every day, every day. And just.
And that high counselor's gonna be like, yes, you guys, I love
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.
And then you can help everyone out by being like, that wasn't quite the way we want to do it. Let's do it again, and take all the time away from the High Councilman so he doesn't get to speak at all.
I love it. I love it.
Just saying. Just
I
saying.
we'll do it. I'll return a report whenever we get that sung.
Please and thank you. We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body,
And if you weren't well enough to listen this time, you'll be well enough to listen next time.
and that when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. Are you going to help me out with this? In the meantime,
Alpine. I don't know.
Nope. No, they're not.
A tiger with a U. Tiger
There
with a
it is.
U. There you go.
We can also say go Tar Heels. We can say Debbie Wanless.
And can we? I don't remember anymore. I'm so sorry.
Nice podcast we can throw out there as well. Yeah. Latter Day 3D Studio. We'll be saving a seat for you
on the back row.
There you go. You got that part. You got that part. You get it.
I remember.
Now we got to say of the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat. It's sure to be neat on the back row.